Welcome back everyone to this lecture on the update keyword. The update keyword allows for the changing of values of the columns in a table. The general syntax is as follows. We say update, then what table we want to update, and then we can say set column equal to, and then some apparent value that we've chosen for that column. And then we can also specify conditions for where the update should occur. So let's show you an example. We can use that account table we created earlier to say something like update the account table and then set last login column equal to the current timestamp where the last login is null, which basically says if there is a null value in the last login, go ahead and update all those values to be the current timestamp. You can also reset everything without any where condition. So if I wanted to just overwrite and update all the last login entries, I could just say update account, set last login equal to current timestamp. I could also set everything based off another column. So we also have the created on column. I could just say update account, set all the values in last login equal to created on. I could then also add in a where condition on top of this. We could also use another table's values. This is sometimes known as an update join, even though it doesn't use the join keyword. So the way this works in general syntax is we choose the table we're updating, such as table A, and we say update table A and set the original column, which is part of table A, equal to some new column part of table B. From table B, where table A.id is equal to table B.id, which is essentially where that joining is taking place. So we just figure out some key to match these two tables on, and then we say set the original column within table A equal to table B.new column. We can also return the rows that are affected. So if you just run one of these update commands, you don't see any results, but if you do want to see particular columns that were affected, you can set the command, something like update account table, set last login column equal to the created on column, and then you can say returning and choose the columns you want returned, and it's going to return the rows that were actually affected. And you can return all the columns or a subset of columns. It's really up to you. Let's go ahead and explore this further in pgadmin. All right, to begin with this, I'm going to take a look at the account table we set up earlier by saying select everything from account. Notice I'm connected to that learning database. And so far, if you've been following along, you should just have one entry in this account table. If you have more than one, that's okay. So we have this username, password, email created on, and currently our last login is null. So let's go ahead and change that a couple of different ways using update. So one thing we can do is set it to some sort of value, just all over. So I can say update account, and then say set last login, and I could set it to the current timestamp. So I could say something like set it to current timestamp. I run that, and notice it doesn't actually give you an output, so we'll have to ask again to select everything from account to see the change. Run that, and if I scroll over, now I can see the last login matches the current timestamp for when I ran that. Let's go ahead and just have it match the created on column. So to do this, we're going to say update account and say set last login equal to created on. Run that. So it looked like that worked. Let's go ahead and check on that. Select everything from account. Go ahead and run this. And now if you ran that, you should see these two match exactly down to the sub-second because it's directly lifted off the created on. And finally, let's explore how we could do an update based off two tables. So to do this, we're going to explore that job table we created. So again, we have this job ID, job name, and then recall that not only do we have the job table, but we also had, if we expand on this, the account job table. So we're going to say account job, run that as well, and it looks like we have a hire date. Let's go ahead and change the hire dates based off another table. Now, the procedure here is really just for syntax purposes. The actual logic behind this won't make too much sense as far as why anyone would want to change the dates for this hire date based off another table. So just keep that in mind. This is really just for a syntax example. Okay, so how we're going to do this is I'm going to update from this account job table, and I'm going to set the hire date equal to, and let's use the account table, and let's use the created on date from that. So we'll say update account job, set hire date equal to account dot created on from the account table. So we have to specify what's the other table. And then we're going to do the following. Essentially, this is where the join comes in. We're going to say where account job dot user ID is equal to account dot user ID. So we run this. It was successful, which means if I were to select from account job, notice here the actual timestamp. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the subseconds. So 1909. And now let's take a look at the account. And it should be the exact same 1909. So again, that's the syntax for updating based off the results from another table. Very, very useful to know that. In this particular example, maybe that logic of the reasoning behind it didn't make too much sense on why you would want to do that. However, that was really just for the syntax example. So again, you update table A, set what you actually want to update from table B, and then show where you're actually matching that up, which is why this is known as an update join, even though we're actually not using the join keyword. And then finally, I want to just show you the returning keyword. Let's go ahead and go back and update our account table. Let's just set the last login equal to, again, current timestamp, essentially just resetting it a little further into the future. So we'll update account, set last login equal to current timestamp, and then I can say returning, and I can return something, basically whatever columns I'm interested in, such as email and let's say last login. And let's also grab in the created on, just so I can compare them. We run this, and that successfully ran. And in addition to that, it returns back whatever columns you were interested in. That way you don't need to do that select second step just to clarify or double check that your results went through. Okay, that's it for the update command. I'll see you at the next lecture.